Happiness is not a gift that falls into your hands. It is a choice, a decision you must make every single day, regardless of what storms surround you. Life will test you. For the remainder of your life, it will press you down, and it will whisper that you have no reason to smile. But that is exactly when you must rise and demand joy from yourself for the remainder of your life, because happiness is not found in circumstances. It is born within your own mind. When life feels heavy and uncertain, for the first and most important thing you can do is shift your perspective the moment you wake up. Begin each day with gratitude for the remainder of life, even if it's just for something as small as having another chance to breathe, another sunrise to see, another day to try again. The gratitude has a quiet power. It takes your mind away from what is lacking and redirects it to what is still within your reach. The habit of being thankful, even in difficult times, strengthens your spirit and keeps you from drowning in negativity. Happiness requires training the mind to control its own thoughts. For the remainder of life, whatever you allow to dominate your thinking will ultimately shape your mood and your reality. If you let fear, doubt, and sorrow replay in your head, they will multiply. But if you deliberately plant positive thoughts, visions of hope, strength, and better days, they will grow until they overpower despair. For the remainder of your life, it is a discipline that must be practiced daily, especially on the hardest days, because those are the moments your mind wants to give up the most. Waiting for perfect conditions to feel happy is a trap that keeps many people miserable. Life will never give you flawless days without problems. Hardships will always exist. Yet true happiness is not born from everything going right, but from your ability to smile and stay grounded even when things are going wrong. By learning to accept hardship as a teacher instead of an enemy, you begin to see meaning in your pain. Every challenge has the potential to carve you into a wiser, stronger version of yourself if you allow it to do its work. This journey is not one you take passively. You must actively push yourself toward happiness every day. Encourage yourself with uplifting words, remind yourself of your worth, and seek out people and environments that inspire and support you. Protect your peace fiercely by removing toxic influences and take small steps toward your goals even on days when motivation is low. Progress, no matter how small, builds hope, and hope fuels happiness. This is how you keep moving forward even when life seems to be standing still. Above all, remember that happiness is not something you find by accident. It is a conscious choice you make again and again. It's found in forgiving yourself, embracing the present moment, caring for your mind and body, and noticing beauty in the simplest things. By transforming challenges into opportunities for growth and refusing to give up on yourself, happiness becomes not just a feeling. For the remainder, a way of living. Every day is another chance to choose it, and the more you push yourself to do so, for the remainder of life, the more natural it becomes until happiness is no longer something you chase. It is simply who you are. For the remainder of your life, the mind is like a fertile field, ready to grow whatever is planted in it. If you allow fear, anger, or doubt to take root, they spread quickly, choking out any sense of peace or happiness. Every thought you hold on feeds your emotions, and those emotions shape the actions you take. When negative ideas dominate your mind, for the remainder of your life, life begins to feel heavier than it truly is, and even small problems seem impossible to solve. To push yourself toward happiness, you must start by disciplining the thoughts that you allow to stay. This discipline begins with awareness. Most people let thoughts pass through their minds without questioning them for the remainder of life, but happiness requires you to pay attention to what you are thinking and interrupt patterns that do not serve you. When you notice a negative thought, challenge it, replace it with something hopeful, even if it feels unnatural at first. By doing this repeatedly, you begin to train your mind to expect better outcomes instead of fearing the worst. It is like strengthening a muscle. The more you practice positive thinking, the stronger it becomes. What you focus on expands, and this truth is inescapable. For the remainder of your life, if you constantly dwell on problems, your problems feel bigger. If you choose to dwell on solutions or the small blessings you already have, for the remainder of your life, those feelings of gratitude and possibility grow. This doesn't mean you ignore reality or pretend hardship doesn't exist. For the remainder of your life, it means you refuse to give pain more attention than it deserves, and you redirect your energy to what you can control and improve. That shift alone can create a sense of hope even when nothing in your circumstances has changed. Over time, Disciplined thinking creates a new emotional state. For the remainder of life, when you consciously plant seeds of positivity, they bloom into habits of optimism and resilience. For the remainder of your life, happiness becomes less dependent on what is happening around you and more rooted in how you respond to life. Even during storms, you find a steady calm inside yourself because your thoughts no longer pull you into despair. You've trained your mind to search for meaning, lessons, and silver linings in every challenge. Pushing yourself to maintain this discipline may feel exhausting in the beginning, but the reward is freedom. When your happiness is no longer at the mercy of outside events, life stops controlling you. You control your experience of life. And in that control lies true power. This is why mastering your thoughts is not just a practice, but a lifelong commitment to protecting your peace and building a foundation of happiness no hardship can destroy. Many people delay their happiness, waiting for everything in life to align perfectly. They tell themselves they will smile when the debt is cleared, when the relationship improves, when the dream job arrives. But life rarely gives flawless days where every condition is ideal. If happiness is postponed until circumstances are perfect, it may never arrive at all. For the truth is, joy is not found in a future without problems, but in the ability to recognize the beauty that already exists in the midst of chaos. For the remainder, you refuse to wait for perfect conditions. You take control of your own emotional state. Hardships, struggles, for the remainder of life, and imperfections become part of the journey rather than reasons to stay unhappy. You stop viewing happiness as something that depends on external events and start seeing it as an internal decision you make every day. This mindset allows you to appreciate life's small gifts, like a quiet moment of peace, a kind word from a friend, or simply the strength to keep going when things are hard. For the remainder of your life, choosing happiness in imperfect moments also transforms the way you approach challenges. Instead of resenting obstacles, you begin to see them as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. Even when life feels unfair, for the remainder of life, you discover resilience in your ability to find meaning and gratitude despite the circumstances. This quiet strength builds confidence. For the remainder of life, because you can choose happiness in the hardest times, you know nothing can truly defeat you. This habit of embracing the present moment creates a deep sense of contentment. For you stop constantly chasing what's missing and start noticing what's already here. The laughter of loved ones, the lessons learned from struggle, the quiet courage that carries you forward. These are the treasures you might overlook if you wait for everything to be perfect first. By appreciating them now, for the remainder of your life, you fill your life with a richness that no future success can replicate. Happiness is a daily decision, not a destination. Refusing to wait for perfect conditions does not mean ignoring problems. It means choosing to rise above them. Life will always contain difficulty for the remainder of life, but you have the power to choose how you experience it. By pushing yourself to see joy in the middle of imperfection, for the remainder of life, you create a life where happiness is no longer conditional. It becomes your natural state, unshaken by the storms that come and go. Hardship is often misunderstood as a punishment or a cruel twist of fate. Yet it holds within it some of life's most valuable lessons. Every challenge you face is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling what lies ahead. Pain forces you to look at yourself honestly for the remainder of your life, revealing both your weaknesses and your untapped strength. While it may feel unbearable in the moment, for those difficulties prepare you to appreciate joy in a way you never could without them. When life feels heavy, it's easy to ask, why me? But a better question is, what is this teaching me? This simple shift changes everything. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances, you begin to see yourself as a student of life. For the remainder of your life, hardship becomes a teacher, guiding you toward resilience, patience, and deeper understanding. With every obstacle you overcome, you build a kind of inner power that no one can take from you. Many people waste energy fighting the existence of challenges, wishing they would disappear. But struggles are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to refine you. Like fire purifying gold, difficulty burns away what is unnecessary and strengthens what must remain. It strips away illusions and forces you to confront what truly matters. Without hardship, growth is limited. Without challenges, you would never know how deeply you can endure. For the remainder of your life, accepting hardship as a teacher does not mean enjoying pain or pretending to be unaffected by it. It means recognizing its role in your journey. Every storm leaves behind lessons you can carry forward. Lessons about your own strength, about gratitude, about compassion for others who suffer. These lessons become the foundation of future happiness because they deepen your appreciation for life's simplest blessings. When you finally emerge from difficulty for the remainder of your life, you see the world differently. The sunrise feels brighter, the laughter of loved ones feels sweeter, and moments of peace feel like treasures. You understand happiness not as something to be earned, but as something to be savored. And because hardship has taught you the value of joy, you push yourself to seek it, protect it for the remainder of, and choose it daily, even when life tests you again. Every day, your mind is bombarded by voices, some from the outside world, some from within yourself. These voices can either build you up or tear you down. In hard times, the loudest voices are often the ones whispering doubt, fear, and hopelessness. That is why creating a ritual of self-encouragement is so powerful. It replaces the noise of negativity with a steady reminder of your strength and your ability to endure. A few words spoken to yourself at the right time can shift your entire day. Affirmations are not just empty phrases, they are seeds you plant in your mind. When you tell yourself, "I am stronger than this," you are training your subconscious to believe it, even when your emotions don't agree yet. Over time, those words become part of your identity. Each repetition builds a bridge between who you feel you are and who you are becoming. This simple habit gives you the courage to keep moving forward when everything around you tempts you to give up. The ritual does not need to be complicated. It can be as simple as looking in the mirror each morning and saying, "I choose happiness today," or writing down 3 encouraging sentences before you start your day. The key is consistency, making encouragement as natural as breathing, so it becomes your first response to challenges rather than your last resort. These words slowly shift your focus from what is wrong to what is possible, and that shift alone can transform how you experience life's struggles. In time, the voice of encouragement becomes louder than the voice of doubt. When obstacles appear, you hear your own words reminding you that you've overcome before and you can do it again. This inner dialogue creates a resilience that no hardship can fully break. It reminds you that you are not powerless against the storms in your life. You are stronger than you realize, capable of enduring more than you ever imagined. By speaking life into yourself every single day, you build an unshakable foundation of hope and determination. You no longer wait for others to motivate you. You become your own source of strength. Happiness grows out of this practice because you are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You choose to rise, you choose to believe, and most importantly, you choose to keep going. This choice, repeated daily, turns hardship into fuel for your growth and joy. The people and environments you allow into your life shape your thoughts, your emotions, and even your decisions. When you spend time around negativity, it quietly seeps into your mind and pulls your energy downward. You begin to doubt yourself, to question your worth, and to see life through the lens of discouragement. But when you surround yourself with uplifting energy, you rise higher. Encouraging people remind you of your strength, and positive environments help you see possibilities you may have overlooked. Not everyone will understand your journey or support your efforts to stay happy during hard times. Some will unintentionally or intentionally bring more negativity into your life. It is not cruel to step away from them. It is necessary. Protecting your peace means recognizing when someone's presence harms your mental and emotional well-being. It doesn't mean you hate them or wish them ill, but it does mean you value your happiness enough to create space for it to grow. Choosing uplifting energy is also about what you consume daily. The music you listen to, the conversations you engage in, and even the social media you follow all feed your mind. When you fill your world with inspiration, motivation, and kindness, your outlook naturally begins to shift. Suddenly, challenges feel less overwhelming because your focus is on solutions rather than problems. Positive energy doesn't just change your mood, it changes your ability to handle life's difficulties. It's important to understand that this isn't about living in denial or avoiding reality. Even with positive influences, life will still bring hardships. But uplifting energy acts like a shield, protecting you from being completely weighed down by those struggles. It gives you strength to face them without losing yourself in despair. In hard moments, having the right voices around you can remind you of who you are and what you are capable of achieving. Surrounding yourself with positivity is a conscious decision you must make daily. Seek mentors who inspire you, friends who uplift you, and environments that support your growth. When you curate your surroundings with intention, you create a space where happiness is nurtured rather than drained. In this atmosphere, pushing yourself to be happy becomes less of a struggle and more of a natural response to the life you've built around you. For the remainder of your life, progress, no matter how small, has the power to breathe life back into your spirit. When life feels overwhelming, big goals can seem impossible, and that feeling alone can trap you in inaction. But when you take even the smallest step forward, you prove to yourself that movement is still possible. For the remainder of life, it may be as simple as making one call, writing one sentence, or organizing one corner of your space. Each small action chips away at the weight of helplessness and reminds you that you still have control over your direction. Small actions build momentum. One step leads to another for the remainder of your life, and before you know it, you are no longer standing still. You are moving forward. This momentum creates hope because you begin to see that your goals are not as unreachable as they seemed. Even on your hardest days, when motivation is low and energy is scarce, for the remainder of your life, progress can shift your mindset from despair to determination. It whispers, you are still trying. For the remainder of your life, you are still capable. There is a quiet strength in doing something small instead of a nothing at all. Life does not demand perfection from you. It demands persistence. For the remainder of your life, by focusing on small, consistent actions, you avoid the trap of waiting for the perfect moment to start. That perfect moment rarely comes. What matters is beginning where you are with what you have and trusting that the next step will become clearer as you move forward. These small victories also build confidence. Each time you follow through, for the remainder of even in a minor way, you reinforce the belief that you can handle more than you think. This belief grows stronger with repetition, and soon, what once felt impossible begins to feel inevitable. You learn to trust the process, understanding that every large success is built from countless tiny decisions to keep going. In the end, happiness does not come from achieving every goal overnight, but from knowing you are moving towards something meaningful. Even during hard times, for the remainder of life, that forward motion fuels your spirit and reminds you that life is not stagnant. By taking small steps, you transform your struggle into progress and your hopelessness into quiet courage. Each day you act, no matter how little, you bring yourself closer to the life you want to create. One of the greatest drains on your happiness is the constant battle with things you cannot control. It is human nature to want to fix everything, to change people's opinions, rewrite the past, or force circumstances to unfold the way we imagine. But this struggle only leaves you exhausted and defeated because it fights against reality itself. The moment you release the weight of what is beyond your reach, you create space for peace to enter. Redirecting your focus to what you can control is not a sign of giving up. It is a sign of wisdom. It means recognizing where your influence truly lies, within your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. For the remainder of life, when you stop pouring energy into what you cannot change, you free that energy to strengthen the parts of life you can improve. This shift is powerful because it's helplessness into empowerment, frustration into progress. Life will always contain forces outside your command. People may disappoint you, unexpected problems may arise, and plans may fall apart. But even in the middle of chaos, you still have authority over one thing: your attitude. For the right, how you choose to respond in those moments will define whether hardship breaks you or builds you. When you center your focus on your own decisions, you stop waiting for the world to change and start changing yourself. This mindset also protects your happiness from being controlled by others. If your peace depends on everyone around you behaving a certain way, you will always be at their mercy. But when you find contentment in managing your own choices, no one can take that power away from you. You learn to stand steady even when the world around you is unstable, because your happiness is no longer tied to external conditions. Focusing on what you can control is an act of liberation. It allows you to move forward despite imperfect circumstances and find joy even in the midst of struggle. For the remainder of your life, this simple but profound decision turns hardship into a training ground for strength and character. For the remainder of your life, the sooner you stop resisting what you cannot change and start mastering what you can, the sooner you discover that happiness has been within your reach all along. For holding on to resentment is like carrying a heavy stone wherever you go. At first, you might not notice its weight, but over time it drains your energy, clouds your thoughts for the remainder of your life, and poisons your ability to feel joy. Anger toward others or even toward yourself keeps you tied to the pain of the past from your life. Forgiveness is not about excusing what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It is about freeing yourself from that weight so you can walk forward without chains holding you back. For the remainder of your life, when you forgive others, you are not saying that what they did was right. You are saying that their actions will no longer control your peace. Bitterness steals more from you than the original wound ever could. It occupies your mind, interrupts your sleep, and colors how you view the world. For the remainder of life, letting go does not erase the memory, but it loosens its grip on your heart. Forgiveness allows you to reclaim your happiness and redirect your focus to building a better future instead of reliving a painful past. Equally important is forgiving yourself. Many people live trapped by their own regrets, replaying mistakes, and wishing they could rewrite history. But punishing yourself endlessly does not create growth. It only deepens shame. For the remainder of your life, acknowledge you've done, learn from it, and then release it. You cannot create happiness in the present while clinging to the guilt of yesterday. Self-forgiveness is the bridge between who you were and who you are capable of becoming. Forgiveness is a process, not a single moment. Some wounds may take time to heal, and you may have to remind yourself daily that you are choosing to let go. But each time you release a piece of anger or guilt, you make more room in your heart for peace and joy. Slowly, the weight becomes lighter, and the memories lose their power to hurt you. This practice transforms not just your relationships with others, but your relationship with yourself. Choosing forgiveness is choosing freedom. It is deciding that your happiness matters more than your pain, that your future matters more than what hurt you in the past. The moment you release resentment toward others or toward yourself, you open the door to healing and invite happiness to return. Forgiveness does not change the past for the remainder of your life, but it changes the way you carry it, allowing you to move forward with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. The present moment is the only place where life truly happens, yet most people spend their days trapped in either the past or the future. They replay old mistakes for the remainder of your life, wishing they could change them, or they anxiously imagine what might go wrong tomorrow. For this constant tug of war robs them of peace and blinds them to the beauty of what is happening right now. Happiness cannot survive in regret or worry. It can only bloom when you are fully awake to this moment in front of you. When you embrace the present, you begin to notice things you once overlooked. The sound of laughter for the remainder of life, the warmth of sunlight, the quiet comfort of simply breathing. Even in hardship, there are small blessings scattered throughout your day for the remainder of your life, but you can only see them when your mind is here instead of elsewhere. The present moment offers gifts that neither the past nor the future can give, and those gifts are often enough to remind you that life is still worth cherishing. Living in the present does not mean ignoring the past or abandoning your plans for the future. It means accepting that neither be controlled. The past is finished, its lessons remain, but its power over you exists only if you keep holding on. The future is uncertain. No amount of worry can guarantee how it will unfold. By focusing on what is here and now, you reclaim your energy and direct it toward what you can actually experience and influence. This practice requires intention. It may mean pausing to breathe deeply when your mind starts to wander, grounding yourself by observing your surroundings, or simply reminding yourself, life, am here now. Over time, this awareness becomes a refuge. Even in chaos, you learn to return to the calm center of the present moment, a place where problems shrink, clarity grows, and happiness becomes possible. Choosing to live in the present is one of the most powerful acts of freedom you can give yourself. It releases you from the weight of what cannot be changed and the fear of what has not yet come. It allows you to live fully, love deeply, and find joy in the small details of life. When you push yourself to stay here now, you discover that happiness was never hiding in another time. It was waiting for you in this very breath. Your body and mind are the foundation upon which your entire life rests, yet they are often the first things neglected when hardship arrives. Stress, worry, for the remainder of your life, and exhaustion push people to ignore rest, skip meals, or drown themselves in unhealthy habits just to get through the day. But the truth is, for the remainder of life, when your body is weak and your mind is depleted, everything feels heavier than it truly is. For caring for yourself physically and mentally is not selfish. It is necessary if you want to have the strength to overcome life's challenges and hold on to happiness. For the proper rest is more than just sleep. It is giving your body and mind permission to recharge. Without rest, your thoughts become cloudy, your emotions unstable of your life, and your resilience fragile. Rest restores balance, helping you see problems more clearly and approach them with patience rather than panic. Even short moments of stillness, closing your eyes, breathing deeply, or stepping away from chaos can reset your perspective and give you renewed energy to keep going. Nourishment matters as much as rest. The food you eat fuels not only your body, but also your mood and focus. When you feed yourself poorly, your energy crashes for the remainder of your life and your emotions spiral more easily. But when you give your body what it needs, fresh foods, water, for the remainder of your life, and balanced nutrition, you create a physical state that supports mental clarity and emotional stability. For taking care of your health is an act of respect for yourself and for the life you are building. Mindful breathing may seem small, yet it is one of the most powerful tools you have in moments of struggle. Breathing with awareness slows your racing thoughts and signals your body to release tension. Of your life, a few deep breaths can steady you in an argument, calm you in fear, and remind you that no matter how big the storm feels, you are still in control of yourself. For the remainder of life, this simple habit creates space between stimulus and response, allowing you to choose peace over panic. Fueling your body and mind with care creates a foundation of strength that hardship cannot easily shake. When you prioritize rest, nourishment, and mindfulness for the remainder of your life, you equip yourself to face life's challenges with steadiness rather than exhaustion. Happiness is far easier to reach when you are not battling against your own depleted state. For the remainder of your life, by honoring your body and mind, give yourself the power to endure, recover, and find joy even in the middle of life. For the remainder of your life, in the middle of life's chaos, it is easy to overlook the quiet miracles unfolding around you. The mind becomes so focused on problems, deadlines, and fears that it forgets to notice the sunrise painting the sky, the laughter of children, or the stillness of the evening air. Yet these simple things hold incredible power. For they remind you that even in the hardest seasons, life continues to offer small gifts of beauty. Gifts that can bring peace to your spirit if you allow yourself to see them. For the remainder of your life, happiness often hides in moments so ordinary that they are taken for granted. The sound of rain on the roof, the warmth of a cup of tea, or the smile of a stranger, these fleeting experiences can soften your heart and bring you back to the present. When you train yourself to seek out these simple joys, you begin to notice them everywhere. Life does not have to be perfect to be beautiful. It simply requires eyes willing to look for the good in the middle of imperfection. Finding beauty in simplicity also shifts your perspective on what it means to live a meaningful life. Many chase happiness through big achievements or material possessions, believing they must do something extraordinary to feel filled. But real contentment comes from appreciating the little details, the moments most people pass by without thought. For the small becomes significant when you understand that happiness is rarely built in grand events, but in quiet, consistent gratitude for what already surrounds you. During difficult times, simple beauty offers comfort and hope. It reminds you that pain and joy can coexist, that even on the hardest days, something soft and good can still be found. For the remainder of your life, these moments act as anchors, keeping you grounded when everything else feels unstable. They do not erase hardship, but they give you a reason to keep going, a reason to believe that brighter days are ahead. Seeking beauty in simple things is a choice you must practice daily. It requires slowing down, paying attention for the rest of your life, and opening your heart to wonder. Over time, this practice rewires your mind to see abundance instead of lack, possibility instead of despair, the remainder of your life. And when you consistently find joy in the small details of life, you discover that happiness has been quietly waiting for you all along, hidden in the simplest of places. Every challenge you face carries within it the potential to shape you into someone stronger and wiser. Hardship is rarely welcomed, but it often contains the lessons you need most. For the remainder of life, when you shift your perspective from, why is this happening to me? to what is this teaching me? You open the door to transformation. For the remainder of your life, struggles that once felt obstacles become stepping stones, each one preparing you for the next chapter of your life. Pain can be a powerful teacher if you allow it to guide you instead of break you. The discomfort you feel during hard times is proof that you are stretching beyond your comfort zone, learning resilience, patience, and adaptability. The strength you gain in those moments becomes part of you, making future challenges easier to face. Instead of fearing difficulty, you begin to recognize it as an opportunity to discover parts of yourself you didn't know existed. Transforming challenges into opportunities requires humility and reflection. It means asking hard questions about what the situation is showing you about your choices, your habits, or even your beliefs. Perhaps it is revealing a need for greater discipline for the remainder of your life, or teaching you how to trust, or showing you that you are capable of enduring far more than you imagined. Each lesson you take from hardship adds another layer of depth to your character and prepares you for the blessings you will one day hold. This mindset doesn't eliminate the pain, but it gives purpose to it. When you know that every challenge can make you better, the weight feels lighter. Instead of being crushed by hardship, you stand taller because you know it is shaping you for something greater. Over time, what once felt like punishment becomes a turning point. The moment you began to rise, rebuild, and reinvent yourself into someone stronger than you were before. Growth rarely happens in comfort. It is born in struggle, refined in difficulty, and strengthened through persistence. By choosing to see every challenge as an opportunity, you reclaim power over your circumstances. Life may test you, but every test becomes a chance to learn, to grow for the remainder of your life, and to prepare for the greater happiness waiting on the other side. In this way, your hardest moments become the very foundation for your greatest strength. For the remainder of your happiness is not a one-time decision you make and never revisit. It is a choice you must renew each day. Life's challenges will constantly test your resolve, and on some mornings, for the remainder of your life, happiness may feel impossible. But it is in those very moments, when everything seems heavy, that the decision matters most. For the remainder of life, choosing happiness daily is not about denying your struggles. It is about refusing to let them control you. It is a conscious act of courage to rise above the weight of circumstances and claim joy as your own. This choice becomes powerful when you understand that emotions follow actions, not the other way around. Waiting to feel happy before you act often leaves you stuck. But when you take small steps toward joy, smiling, speaking words of encouragement, focusing on what you're grateful for, your feelings eventually align with your actions. It may feel unnatural at first, but repetition turns it into a habit, and habits become part of who you are. Committing to happiness also means staying vigilant against the pull of negativity. Every day, you will encounter challenges, discouraging voices, and reasons to give up. But happiness is built by resisting that pull and redirecting your focus toward hope and possibility. Some days this choice will be effortless. Other days it will feel like climbing a mountain. Yet every time you choose happiness despite the difficulty, you strengthen your ability to do it again tomorrow. Over time, this daily decision reshapes your entire outlook on life. You stop waiting for the perfect moment to feel content because you realize perfection never comes. Instead, you create meaning in each imperfect day, and this meaning becomes the root of your happiness. Life's ups and downs still come, but they no longer define you. For the remainder of life, your joy stops being fragile and begins to feel unshakable, and caught in the choices you make rather than the circumstances you face. Choosing happiness every day is the most powerful commitment you can make to yourself. It is not a destination, but a practice, a discipline, and a way of living. For the remainder of life, by pushing yourself to choose joy again and again, even in the darkest moments, you build a resilience that nothing can break. Happiness ceases to be something you chase and becomes something you carry with you, no matter where life leads. Happiness is not found by chance. It is forged through persistence. For life will test you, but your happiness depends on how fiercely you refuse to give up on it. Push yourself daily, and soon what once felt like effort will become the way you live.